nothing for you I could ever change. 'Cause every time you look up to the sky, realize that you are only looking in the mirror.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Authentic Amigas. My name is Valerie.
My name is Florencia, and I bet you never thought you were going to hear this intro again. I'm just playing, y'all.
We're like, dun, dun, dun.
I'm just playing. We are so freaking happy to be sitting here today recording a new episode of Authentic Amigas. We are, if y'all remember, we are in season 2 now. And we're so happy to be sitting here. And today we are going to be reflecting on 2021. Y'all may remember back in January, late December last year, we created our vision boards and we shared the experience and the process with y'all. And we're happy to keep the tradition going this year. It's a tradition that Val and I have had for a couple of years as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into our vision boards. Like best friend was saying, it's just like a time that we take to reflect on the year. I think we had an episode, right, where we talked about how to create a vision board at the beginning of the year. So if you made a vision board at the beginning, now is the time to pull your vision board out as well. Or if you didn't make a vision board, but you like jotted down somewhere like your goals that you had, now is the time to pull that out and hang out with us, and we can look over it together, see where we're at, see what we got to do, see what we didn't, and how we move forward with the things that we didn't really accomplish quite yet. So we'll just walk through it together.
Yes, and before we get going and actually dive into our vision boards, I just want to remind y'all, we are Authentic Amigas, two best friends, Valerie and Florencia, and basically we created this podcast to connect with y'all, share our experiences about life, business. Val runs her own business full time. I'm a student and I also work, so I share sometimes a little bit about that. And yeah, we're so happy to have you listening here today. If you want to get some more of a little Authentic Amigas action, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We are at Authentic Amigas, and you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Authentic Amigas everywhere.
Yeah, we still have to check if they haven't kicked us out yet since it's been so long. But if they haven't kicked us out, we'll be on there.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, or we're blowing the dust off of our accounts right now.
We're like, I'm like,
yeah, good as new.
Yeah,
but yes, thank you for joining us today. If you're here listening, we love you, and we're so happy to have you listening to today's episode.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. We're just gonna get right into it. So, Bestie, do you want to go first and tell us a little bit of what's in your vision board, and then kind of just talk about it?
Yeah, so what a year 2021 has been. A lot has changed from 2020 to 2021. I look different. My hair looks different. I've gained a few pounds. I've gained and gone
that
through...
one.
Yeah,
that one.
We'll talk about that one in a second, because that one, it actually, if you tune into the next episode, we're going to talk about our 2022 goals, and that one is going to be touched upon in 2022. But back to 2021, a lot has gone down this year. I became a grad student. I left my full-time job and started a totally new, different like lifestyle as far as like my work and professional life goes. A lot of growth and all that good stuff that happens in a year, right? So without further ado, y'all may remember, here is my vision board from 2021. I'm struggling to show her all together because she's huge. And yeah, I'm gonna go through just a few elements from 2021's vision board. I love the vibe of my vision board for this year. When I look at it, I feel like she looks mature, she looks put together, she looks calm, and I'm so happy that I had this right above my bed all year to look at it and to remind me, and even just like to be aesthetically pleasing, because it's beautiful. That's another plus side to these.
It is pretty.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just touch on like a couple of the things that I noted on here. My central quote or my central word, we always try to have one thing that kind of anchors everything together, is it's all about consistency. Consistency was the word that I tried to remind myself of all 2021. Um, in some areas of my life, I feel like I was very consistent, and it's other areas of my life, there's room to grow, right? Growth is like a lifelong thing. But I'm glad that I picked that word. And honestly, I think I'm going to carry it over at least partially into 2022, um, because it's still consistency is still something that I'm working on. Again, I think I'll be working on it for my whole life. That's what it means, right? Consistency.
Yeah.
So that was my central quote. Um, just going over some of the highlights. Begin grad school is on my vision board for 2021, and
Let's
it's so crazy.
go. Let's go.
Yeah, because I did become a grad student this year, and we can have a future episode about that if y'all want to know more about like what that's like, how I got there, and what am I even doing in grad
Oh my
school.
God. Yeah, I
That
would
would
love to know.
yeah. Yeah, I would love to do an episode on that. But it's crazy, like chills moment. Okay, a moment when in this year when I got chills is when I looked at this vision board, and I have begin grad school right here. Sorry, it's gonna look kind of funky, but I have begin grad school right here. And it's like a little laptop with like a little iPad and a little like agenda and like I think it's like a cup of coffee. Yeah, somewhere. And I remember super crazy moment when it was like my first week of grad school, and I sent Val a photo of this setup, and I was like, dude, literally like it's me right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was kind of a crazy moment, like full circle moment. Like this is something that I dreamed about, and I got to accomplish it this year.
Right.
And yeah, it was one of the highlights of my year.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love that. Yes, congratulations, bestie. I
Thanks,
just
best
want to
friend.
like take a quick second to again congratulate you for that because you really did manifest that. And I remember when we were doing our vision board together, you were putting grad school out there. And when you put grad school, you were like, there's like a the tiniest little question mark. You're like, I think this is a year. And then you're like, no, I'm gonna do it. This is a year. I'm gonna do grad school this year. And I was, or you're gonna apply to grad school. And you're like, I'm gonna apply to grad school. You're gonna apply to grad school. And I was like, yes, bestie. I was like, and it just happened so quick. Like it had no, did you put apply to grad school last year too? Or am I
Yeah. In 2020, I put apply to
that's when
grad
you put it
school.
on. And then this year you put go to grad school, right?
Begin. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wait, okay, hold on. Can we actually talk about that? Because I remember when you showed me a video on how to make a vision board. What was her name? Is it Amber?
Amber
No.
Scholl. Yeah, I love her.
Okay, Amber. She was talking about how sometimes on your vision board, you're going to put things that are going to take more than a year to accomplish, right?
Right.
And you're going to put it on there and putting things on your vision board doesn't mean it has to happen right away or within those 12 months, kind of. And I kind of think grad school is like the perfect example of how you said, like, I put it on my 2020 vision board to like start the process. And then it remained kind of right in your 2021 vision board.
Mm-hmm.
And now going into 2022, you've accomplished it.
Yeah, I've begun. There's a long journey ahead, so I'm sure it'll be a big part of my like the next few years, but
Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah, definitely accomplished that one this year of beginning, and I'm actually all done with my first semester, so for 2021 it's all wrapped up. So
Dang, I wish we could have brought out our 2020 vision boards too to kind of compare
I know
and
I
look at.
do have her. We
I
can do
have
that
mine.
one too.
We can, huh? We should. We should do it like maybe before explaining our 2022 vision boards.
Yeah, through the years. Let us know if
Yeah.
y'all want to see that.
Yeah, that would be really cool because I'm kind of like mixing besties goals right now from 2020 and 2021. But I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thanks, best friend. Do you want to give a little overview of yours and maybe go over one thing, and then
Yeah, we can
we'll
bounce off.
yeah, we'll take turns sharing highlights and everything.
Dang. Okay, so I actually didn't pull my vision board down until like you sent me the link to come onto our podcast today.
Yeah.
So I'm just really looking at it right now, like for what it is, whole like in my hand for the first time since I made it, like because it's really just been hung up for a couple months now. Um, it's kind of weird. So this is what my vision board looks like. If you guys aren't on the visual, it's basically just a bunch of pink stuff with some very important, meaningful graphics to me on here. So we have Kobe Bryant on there, which this one was the one that I would think about a lot. Actually, I have a lot of things on here that are important to me, but Kobe Bryant was the one that like when I would step away from my vision board, I would keep it with me. And behind, like above it, it says work hard. And that's something I just really want to do this year. I didn't really have a numerical, like, established, this is how many, I don't know, sets I want to do this year. This is the number of orders that I want to reach this year. This is the number of, like, whatever followers I want to grow this year. I didn't have any set numbers this year. I really just wanted to work hard. And working hard is different for everybody. Like, it looks different for everybody. Working hard some days for me is just like being able to get out of bed and brush my teeth. And that some days feels like hard work. So this year I just really want to work hard, and not just in my business, but like all aspects of life. I wanted to work hard on myself mentally. So I did therapy, and that was really important to me. I wanted to work hard in my business, and I think I did overall. I wanted to work hard to fight like my um slight anxiety that I get every now and then, and I think I handled it pretty well. So that one to me is pretty good. There's a lot of cool things on here, but that one to me is the one that probably means the most. I think I grew a lot this year, mentally and emotionally, because I worked hard for that. So yeah, that's one.
Mhm. I love that. And I love that, like you said, an important piece of like your vision board is like, of course, you get to look at it every day, but when you step away from it, you can still close your eyes and remember the meaning of the things that you put on there. And it's a visual reminder too, right? Because every time that you bump into it, it reminds you of what you're focused on, and yeah, and all of the
Yeah.
and all of the day-to-day steps.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if you feel like this. It's kind of scary a little bit to look at my vision board right now, but I think it comes from like that slight um bit of like pressure that I feel like we put on ourselves to like accomplish all these things, right? So like I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to like make sure that I cross out everything on my to-do list. And when I don't, I slightly like am scared to look at my list again. Like I don't want to look at it. I
We
rather just
avoid
pretend.
it.
Yes, I rather avoid it than to face the fact that I might have not accomplished everything I wanted to. So right now I'm like looking at it, I'm like, dang, I'm kind of scared to really look at this. But
Yeah.
as I'm looking at it, like everything that's on here was touched at some point this year,
Mm-hmm.
or is being touched, or is
Right.
being thought of. So nothing on here has ever like vanished. Like, and I think that's important too, as you guys are making your vision boards for the next year, is to maybe not apply pressure. Like just make it, dream of the wildest things. Like put a mansion on here, put fucking a farmhouse if you want to own that. Put whatever you want in your lifetime, because that's what a vision board is about, right? It's just like manifesting like these
Mhm.
big ideas, big thoughts, or it's even small ones. It doesn't matter. It's your
Yeah.
vision board, but believing that it's all possible. So anyway, I was kind of scared, and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, I'm that bitch. I'm
Yes, queen.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's about motivation, right? It's
yeah,
not about like looking at it and feeling like, I didn't get to that, right? It's about
yeah,
putting something out there, because the first thing to like accomplishing a goal is like you have to identify it and you have to put it out there. Otherwise, like, you know, if you never put it out there because you're afraid that it's not gonna work out for you, or you're afraid that you're not gonna reach it, then like you failed before you even tried, really, right?
yeah,
And I like that you said like it can be big or small things, and it can be things that you carry over from year to year. Because when I look at mine, I have a few that I know for a fact I put them on there knowing that it wasn't going to happen this year, most likely.
yeah.
One of those for me was become a homeowner and move out. Those are ones that I'm going to put on my vision board
Until it
until
happens.
it happens, you know? I
Yeah,
knew that I wasn't gonna get no fucking 20% down on a home in 2021. Like, I understand, because that conflicts, you know, becoming a homeowner conflicts with like some of my other goals. But I know that in the long term, that is one of my bigger goals. So I
right.
know that every time that I look at it, I didn't purchase a house this year, but every time that I looked at it, maybe at 3 a.m., I was online shopping on my phone, about to hit checkout cart on something that I didn't need. And when I saw that, it reminded me like,
I love
hey, you're working on your credit,
that. Right.
you
That's
know,
yeah,
or hey, you're working on like your spending habits. And that
yeah.
contributes towards the goal, even though I know I'm not buying a house no tomorrow or even next week or maybe even next year, you know?
Yeah, I love that, because a vision board is kind of like the dots, right? Like in order to get to this dot, you must connect this dot to this dot, to then this dot, to then this dot, to then this dot. You know, you don't just go from like this dot to this dot. I mean, you can, but it's probably not, you know, it's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like there's a reason why you have to go this way, then that way, and then this way, then that way. So I love that you said that. Like it does take a minute for some of the goals that we have on our vision boards, but everything kind of correlates at the end. Everything is like a part of what a part of you and a part of like what you want out of this lifetime. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really happy with this one.
Yeah. Another small one. I actually so that's one of my bigger ones that is on my vision board.
That's cool.
Yeah, grad school and becoming a homeowner. And then I also put two small ones that are like you could do this daily. Okay. It's like a 10-minute thing. And those are daily meditation and make coffee at home daily. The reason why I put make coffee at home daily is because I love to drink coffee and I spend way too much money on coffee outside of my home. It's just not a need and it's a serious habit. And I'm going to be honest, in the first 4 to 7 months of the year, daily meditation and make coffee at home daily were, I was succeeding. In the last 6 months or so, I think I've fallen off on these. And so for myself, I know for a fact that I'm carrying at least one of these over into my 22 vision board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any of yours that were like kind of daily things that you were going to work on? Not necessarily like a huge thing.
Something daily. I guess eating more fruits and veggies. That one was like a small, like quote unquote small every day, but actually big and impactful. I actually fell off of this. I fell off of this like mid-year. I was doing good at the beginning, and then mid-year I just fell off of it. I was eating more. So I think we've mentioned it before, but like Bestie is plant-based and I'm vegetarian, and it's really easy to consume like what is it
Processed.
like, yeah, like processed and like alternatives to like chicken and meat, which are like just soy. They're just like soy, like most of them are soy protein based,
Mhm.
which isn't bad if you're having it every now and then, but if you're consuming it daily, it's not that great for you. So I've recently gone back to really like very very much be strict on myself about eating fruits and veggies and getting the right um things into my body, and try to eat as like clean and natural as possible. So this is one like that I was doing great. I fell off in the middle and now I'm like back on it. And I don't plan to like ever stop, you know, like thinking about this and what I put into my body, because the way I'm built, I can't really take a lot. So I need to be really careful with what I put into my body. So this is one for sure. And then um I don't I have this on here. It's makeup and purses. Like it's a purse and makeup.
Mhm.
I honestly just noticed that right now.
I'm dead. Oh, it's on like December 31st, being like, what is that?
But the last fucking day of the year, I'm like, what? But I guess I put that one on there because I wanted a pink purse and I wanted like makeup. But I did get a Prada purse this year, pink Prada purse this year.
Yes, material girl.
Yes. So you know what? We'll just say that's what happened there. And and I got it in Hawaii, and it's right next to the palm trees.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the palm trees are there because I just want to be like a palm tree and just grow and grow and grow. But yeah. What's something else that you have on there that you're like, okay, I'm gonna take this one for sure into 2022?
Um, Definitely, like I mentioned, becoming a homeowner is one that I'm going to build on for like years to come. Um, and definitely daily meditation is one that I want to reintroduce on my vision board. I'm going to be honest, I haven't even touched that goal in months. Part of it has to do with like I went through like a drastic like shift in my lifestyle this year when I started grad school. I left like my job, I started a whole new schedule, I started 2 new jobs and school. So I think that has a lot to do with it. It's hard to build routine when your life gets turned upside down. And daily meditation is part of my routine, right? But now that I'm adjusting to this new lifestyle, I want to reintroduce it in 2022 for sure. And so it'll be fun, like when we look at our 2020, 21, and 22 vision boards side by side, to see, you know, what carries over and how our goals evolve and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, one that I also really wanted to mention today
Yeah.
is that on our Authentic Amigas side of the vision board, I have on my vision board launch merchandise and have a guest. And I'm really happy that we did accomplish having several guests in 2021. And that was a huge one for us.
Yeah, we did. That's crazy. We actually did get to have guests on our podcast and really amazing guests too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Those were some of my favorite episodes. And to this day, like I'll be meeting with like friends or family or whoever, and I'll be like, oh, my friend, like so and so. And they'll be like, are they the person that you had on Authentic Amigas?
Oh, I
You know?
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really proud every time that I look to know that we fully accomplished that one.
Yeah.
Having merchandise, we did launch our cute little stickers this year.
We-
So that one does count for something.
It does. It
But
does
we
count.
have bigger plans than that we're hopefully going to tackle in 22 and beyond.
We really, I feel like we need to get on YouTube more and do vlogs like 2022.
Yeah.
We
And
really
we
do.
wanted to. We wanted to. If people are
Yeah.
listening, we really wanted to. It's just Val and I don't play about the pandemic. And
No,
for
we don't.
myself, I have okay, this is the first time like I'll publicly say this. Like I have like anxiety around a lot of things. Okay. I don't think I've ever publicly said like I have anxiety sometimes. Okay. And the pandemic is something that has like intensified my like health anxiety like times a million. Like
Right.
literally like I never thought I would have. So obviously now being in like in our fifth and sixth waves of COVID,
Yeah.
it's made it hard, but we do want to get out there and like vlog and like just share more about our lifestyle and just what we do, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's hard too because like Bestie was saying, there's been a lot of shifts in our lives. Like Bestie started grad school, she started 2 jobs, like it's been a lot. And then just adjusting to post COVID is a whole other thing to deal
And
with.
yourself too.
Yeah, so we've done pretty good. You know what? We're here doing this podcast right now, so I think we're doing pretty damn good with Authentic Amigas. I'm really proud of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking here. Okay, so this is another example of like how we're saying that sometimes when you put things on your vision boards, most of the times actually when you put something on your vision board, it's a process. It's not going to happen like within the year even. So I have like a house here, and
Mhm.
that's not even for me. I mean, I do want to be a homeowner, but I have a house there because, and it's actually in LA. It's an LA home. I'm pretty sure this is in actually this might be the Valley area. But anyway, I put that on there because I wanted to get my real estate license this year, and I want to at least start that. Like I at least wanted to start that, and I have one course left, so hopefully by next year, February, if I study my ass off and I pass that exam, I will be a licensed real estate agent. So,
Yes, queen. And that'll be huge. I know that that's something that you've been working on like for weeks and weeks and weeks, and even longer than that. Even before 2021, this has been something that's been on your radar.
yeah, it has been actually. I've been talking about this for a while, and I actually signed up for the class back in 2019 and I didn't complete it. And then I signed up again in 2020 and I didn't complete it. So then this year I signed up again, and then finally I just have one course left.
And
So
you're about to.
yeah, so thank freaking God. But that's just a prime example of how like sometimes like it takes longer than a year and sometimes it takes longer than 2 or 3, but you just have to keep putting it on there. If it's something that you really want to accomplish, just don't stop believing in it. Like if it's something that you really, really want in life, but you just don't see it happening for you at all, and like you're like it's impossible. Like I it's easier for somebody to walk on the moon than it is for this to happen. For me, that's not necessarily true. I think it just takes time, and if you really believe that it can happen for you, it will. Um,
Yeah. And put in the work, because at the end of the day, you have to put put it on the vision board, believe it, believe in it, believe in your ability to make it happen for yourself.
yeah,
And then every day show up for yourself.
yeah, because you deserve that. You show up like you. Whoever's listening, you right now, you show up for everybody else. I know you
Yes.
do. You never stop showing up. So
Even if it's your dog, like every day that like you feed them, you take them on a walk, you show up for them.
yeah, you do. You show up for your boss, you show up for your loved ones, you show up. So show up for yourself this year in 2022. We'll be doing the same thing. So yeah.
Hmm. I'm gonna be thinking about that one when I'm looking for my inspo picks and everything that's gonna go on the 2022 vision board. I think showing up for myself is gonna be one that is gonna go on there.
Yeah. So as we wrap this up, Bestie, I have a question for you.
Hmm. I'm like,
What
yes.
what is something from your vision board that actually no, like not even from your vision board. What's some advice that you would give somebody that has a vision board and that feels like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't accomplish any of this at all. It's not even worth it for me to make a new one." Like what is something that you would tell them? Cuz I think that can be a little
Hmm.
it can put somebody down, to like make something like this
Yeah.
and be like, "Damn, I didn't do anything on this list. Like it's not even worth it for me to try it again."
Right. So I would say in that situation, I would say two things. First, consider like what went down in your life this year. We have to extend ourselves grace when we deserve it, which is more often than we sometimes like allow ourselves, right? So, like I said, for example, for mine, I had become a homeowner on here. It's something that I would have loved to have in 2021. It's something that I would have loved to have like years ago, but I put it on here fully believing that one day it's going to happen, but understanding that maybe it wouldn't happen this year. So if I looked at this and I said, dang it, like I didn't accomplish this, I failed this goal. But then take it like two steps back to see the bigger picture, I'll understand that, yeah, I didn't accomplish it this year because my other goals that I did accomplish conflict with that. For example, going to grad school. It would be tough for me to become a new homeowner, be prepared financially and like physically, mentally, emotionally to go through that journey and at the same time begin grad school. Not impossible, but I wouldn't have done my best in one of those two things, right? You can't always do your best in everything, that especially when two things demand a lot from you. So be honest with yourself about like, what did you go through this year? What unexpected things did you go through? um what has changed in your life from the time that you made those goals? Okay. Second, I would say the goals, this is kind of like how we always talk about like when you go into a store and you try something on, right?
Mhm.
The clothes has to fit the person doesn't have to fit the clothes.
Mhm.
So for example, like if you try on a dress and you're like, it doesn't fit me, yeah, the dress has to fit you. You don't have to fit into that size, whatever dress. You go and you get a new size. The clothes has to fit you. Similarly, I'm going to say the goals have to fit you. And by that I mean you have to be like intentional and smart about like the types of goals that you make. So think about, if I put it on my vision board, is it something that I can attain within this time frame? How much time do I need? Maybe can I break it up into smaller steps?
Right.
If I put become the president on my vision board and I've never run in political office ever, well, I guess it's not a good analogy because we ended up with our last president, but you get the gist of it. If I say I want to go to the moon, I want to be an astronaut, I want to work for
Right.
NASA,
Right.
and I've never taken a science class in my life, it's pretty unlikely that I'm going to end up working for NASA. Pretty unlikely, not impossible, but pretty unlikely. So I better start by like taking a science class, huh?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what needs to go on my vision board. It's like go take 5 science classes,
Right.
or do research about this job, because I know that ultimately that's my long-term goal,
I
right?
love that. I love that.
We have to make the goals work for us too. We work
Yeah.
for the goals, but the goal has to be something that we could work for first.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
What
Thank you,
about
guys.
you?
No, just to kind of bounce off of what you said, I know I'm like a big dreamer. I can dream all day long. 80% of the time, I'm like in another world. So for me, it's like, I want to be this, I want to do that. Like, I dream really, really big. But I think it's important, like you said, to kind of be like realistic about the steps that you need to take to get there. So that way, when you create your vision board and you put like fly to the moon, you're not disappointed when that didn't happen because you were realistic about the steps that you needed to take to get there. And maybe focus, if you've never done a vision board and this is going to be your first one, or if you've created one, a list of goals, a set of goals, and you didn't accomplish them at this point, you're feeling defeated. Based, just to bounce off of you, bestie, I would say like to just start with the smaller things. Like start, like you said, like put down a science class. If you're trying to get to the moon, like yeah, jot down a science course on there, or just study what you need to do. Study really hard. I think studying and research is so important. That's something too that for my goals, like although some of them may seem crazy, like they're on here because most likely I've done my research on how to get there, what I need to do to get there. So I know
Right.
it's not real unrealistic. So study your goals, figure out what you need to do to get there, and and put down the steps on your vision board. You know,
Yeah.
it just needs to make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. Your vision board is your vision board. So if somebody
Mhm.
sees a freaking math book on there, it doesn't matter what they're gonna say about it. It's your vision goal, your vision
Yeah.
board. So do what you gotta do for yourself.
Yeah, and I think like you said, like doing your research about it and before you put it on there, I think that shows commitment to your goal before you even officially put it on your vision board. If you're already committed because you've done your research and you've thought carefully about what you're putting on your vision board, you already showed commitment to your goal.
Sure.
And that in itself shows that you didn't fully fail at accomplishing it, right?
Yeah.
This is really lame, but one of the things that
I love
I
lame.
no, this is like cheesy. One of the things that I
I
learned
love
this year,
cheesy.
I know. I'm no, well, this is one of the things that I learned this year in working with high school students, which I never thought I'd do in a million years. We talk about goal setting, right? Specifically because I work with students who are thinking of going to college. So we talk about goal setting related to college. And one of the things that we talk about is setting SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym. And I'm sure somebody that's listening maybe has come across this before, but SMART is an acronym. So when you're setting a goal, you say, is it successful? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And are you setting a timeline? So those
Mm.
are SMART, 5 things that you want to think about when
Period.
you're setting a goal. So
Okay.
is it specific? Are you specific about the goal? Not like I want to be healthy, but like maybe
How are
more
you gonna be
specific would
healthy?
be like, I want to go to the gym 10 times a month.
Yes.
Right. So is it
Mm.
specific? Is it measurable? How are you going to measure it? So by saying 10 times a month. Is it attainable? Can you go to the gym if there's no gym where you live?
Mm.
Is it realistic? I wouldn't say I'm going to go to the gym 2 times a day every single day. That's not realistic for me. And within what time frame are you going to accomplish that? So
Mm.
within X months or within the first week or whatever. Yeah.
I love that.
Just a way to think about setting goals. Because if we set goals that are SMART goals, if we are careful about the goals that we set, we're setting ourselves up for success.
I love that. I love that so, so much. I kind of want to like put that as like our like preview of like, you know how like before podcasts some people put like 10 seconds of like this is our preview like of what the podcast is kind of
Yeah,
gonna
our
kind
little
of
our
be.
little thumbnail clip.
Yeah, I love that. I may actually take that with me into 2022. I've
That's
never
gonna be
heard that
so
before.
really. It's like this is literally what we teach to the high schoolers.
Damn, maybe I need to go back to high school.
No, sometimes we be spitting some bars and it just flies right over these kids' heads.
You're like,
I'm like, did you catch that?
They're like,
No, literally. They're like, can I go now? For real, it be like that
Oh
sometimes.
my
But
God.
something to think about, because next we're going to be talking in a future episode about our
Yeah.
2022 vision board. So hopefully y'all are able to sit down and write down a few goals. If it helps you to think about it as a SMART goal, successful, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic time. If it helps you to think about it that way, and jot down maybe a few goals in the upcoming week that you'd like to put on your own 2022 vision board. I know that's what I'm going to be working on for the rest of the year.
Me too. And yeah, that is it, right? For our, what episode is this? Second episode of season 2?
Yes.
2.
Two.
That is it for
You know,
today's
hoes love angel
episode.
numbers. Sorry, I had to say it. You know, us hoes love angel numbers.
We do be liking angel numbers. We really do. Yeah. Of dead. But thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I hope that you guys all have a beautiful holiday season. Eat yummy food.
Take
And feel the
care. Stay
love.
safe.
Yes, stay safe. Please get tested if you need to. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. And we'll catch y'all very soon. Make sure to check us out at Authentic Amigas everywhere. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
To live the weight of the world, keep us still, no, no.